Hello, my name is Hannah. The book I am reading is an excerpt from Warhorse by Michael McGruber. The horse Joey has been through a lot and more. Now he's on the battlefield called No Man's Land. Joey's got an injured leg and is right in the middle of the field. The two sides have not started fighting. They are in their trenches. That's when a man from each side comes out, tries to save Joey, the warhorse. I picked this part in the book because, to me, it's a very strong part in the story. The German was through the wire spurt, slinging a narrow gap behind him. He approached me slowly across no man's land, calling out to me all the while to come towards him. He reminded me once of dear old Frederick, for he was like Frederick, a gray-haired man in untight, unbuttoned uniform. And as he spoke gentle to me, in one hand he held a rope, and the other was stretched out toward me. He still was too far away for me to see clearly, but an offered hand in my experience is often cupped, and there was enough promise in that for me to limp cautiously towards him. On both sides of the trench were lined now with cheering men standing on the wall of the trenches, waving their helmets. "Oh, boy!" A shout came from behind me. It was urgent enough to stop me. I turned to see a small man in khaki weaving quickly across no man's land, one hand carrying a white handkerchief high above his head. "Oh, boy, where are you going? Hang on a bit. You're going the wrong way, see?" The two men were coming towards me. Could not have been more different. The one in the gray was taller of the two, and as he came near I could see his face was lined with years. Everything about him was slow and gentle. Under his ill-fitting uniform he wore no helmet, but instead a peakless cap with a red band I knew so well sticking carelessly on the back of his head. The little man in the khaki reached us, out of breath, his face red with a rim fallen over his ear. For a few strange, silent moments the two stood yards apart from each other, eyeing one another wearily, saying not a word. It was the young man in khaki who broke the silence and spoke first. "Now what do we do?" he said, walking towards us and looking at the German, who stood head and shoulders above him. "There's two of us, and there's one horse split between us. Of course King Simon had the answer, didn't he? But it's not very practical in this case, is it? And what's worse, I can't speak a word of German, and I can tell you can't understand what the hell I'm talking about. Oh, hell, I should never have come out here. I knew I shouldn't. Couldn't think what came over me, and all for a muddy old horse, too. But I can speak a little bad English," said the old man, still holding his hand under my mouth. It was full of black bread, into pieces, a tidbit. I was familiar enough with it, but usually found it too bitter for my taste. However, I was now too hungry to be choosy, and as he was speaking, I soon emptied his hand. "I only speak a little English, like a schoolboy, but I think it's enough for us." And even as he spoke, I felt a rope slip round my neck and tighten. "As for our other problem, since I have been here first and the horse is mine, fair, no, like your cricket." "Cricket! Cricket!" said the young man. "Who ever heard of the barbarous game in walls? That's the game of the rotten English. Rugby, that's my game, and that's not a game, that's a religion. That is where I came from before the war stopped me, and we say in Wales a loose ball is our ball." "Sorry," said the German, his eyebrows full of concern. "I can't understand what you mean by this." "Doesn't matter, not important, not any more. We could have solved this all peacefully, like the war. And I mean I'd be back in my valley, and you'd be back in yours. Still, it's not your fault, I don't suppose, nor mine either, it's come to that." By now the cheering on both sides had subsided, and both armies looked in total silence as the two men talked together. Beside me the Welshman was stroking my nose, my ears. "You know Horseson," said the tall German. "How bad is his wounded leg? Is it broken, do you think?" "He seems not to walk on it." The German bent over and lifted my leg and gently, expectantly wiped away the mud from around the wound. "He's a mess all right. It doesn't look like it's broken. It's a bad wound, though a deep gash of wire by the look of it. Got to get him seen quickly before poison sets in, and then there won't be a lot anyone can do for him." Like that, he must have already lost a lot of blood. Question is, though, who takes him? We've got a veterinary hospital somewhere back behind our lines, but I suspect you've got one too. "Yes, I think so, somewhere, but I don't know exactly where," said the German slowly, and then he dug deep into his pocket and produced a coin. "You choose the side you want, heads or tails, I think you say. I will show the coin to everyone on both sides, and everyone will know that whichever side wins, the horse is only by." As it fell to the ground, the Welshman called out in a risen voice so that the world could hear, "Heads!" "Well," said the German, stopping to pick it up, "that's the face of my Kirschgard looking up at me out of the mud, and he does not look pleased with me. So I'm afraid you have won the horse is yours. Take good care of him, my friend."